Now I'm very happy to welcome back a wonderful handicapper, odds maker, and longtime friend of the show who works on both sides of the window. You know him from his work at mybookie.com and his great plays and insights at docsports.com. Very happy to bring back Mr. Raphael Esparza to the odds breakers. You can follow him on X at VSI Doc Sports. Raph, man, we have a Super Bowl. I'm guessing you're going to go to all the parties, hanging out with Little John and Shaq and going woo woo. Is that the plan?
Parties, no. There's only one party that I told the company that I'll be working with at Media Row that I might go to. I might go to Shaq's party. It's the only one that and I won't even stay long. I would probably just maybe take a picture at like the media wall and go in and maybe see if I can get a picture of him DJing or something. And then deuces, I'm out. But I'm not going to do all the parties. I don't even think Monday when you get to go to the stadium and see the stadium and interview the players and the media stuff. Like, I don't even know if I'm going to go to that one. Just because people don't understand that, I have to do all these media hits, but I still have to do all my props, all my stuff at Docs. So I don't have I just don't want to spread myself too thin. It's not like I'm gonna be able to talk to Patrick Mahomes one-on-one. I mean, now if that was the case, then I would go. But so I might not even attend that one. But it should be very interesting. I'm dreading the traffic of Vegas. It's probably why I'm having cold sweats just thinking about being there that weekend. Is the traffic, because I've been in that traffic for 20 plus years. I mean, I've known what the traffic is like. I'm really, really scared of the traffic.
You poor locals. You know what's funny about locals, and I'm not saying you, but what brings them in is the excitement when you're young to move to Vegas, and it's different for everybody. But then completely sick of it, and they're just like, screw F1, screw this is terrible, I'm sick of this. And they don't even go to clubs no more. I mean, I remember my young days. I loved it. I loved Vegas, right? It was kind of the time during the Swingers movie, right? Vegas, Vegas. That's kind of what was going through my mind when I was 22, 23 years old, and completely changed. Now it's like I want to be, if there's any place I want to be far away from, it's Vegas and the Super Bowl right now. Watching it with a couple buddies and some brews and just relaxing with some good food, man. That's how I.
Well, yeah, I'll be out. I'm out. I'm not going to the game. So I'll be definitely once the Media Row Day hits is over on Friday, I'm leaving. So
yeah, I know that. And it's funny. I had to bust your balls a little bit about you partying in Vegas. You're one of the last people yourselves that to do that. So that's funny. It's funny. I bet there's a lot of young people that wish they were in your shoes though and had some of those passes and some of those available events to their disposal, especially I'm sure with some people flying in, but price is going to be jacked up, and that's just how it is in Vegas. I prefer off weekends are probably best in my opinion. Maybe I really like week 0, and that's where I'm there every year. Of course, I'm signing up for the circuit and doing all the circus stuff then, because week 0 is great because you got a couple games. It's not overcrowded yet, nice and easy in, easy out. But either way, we have a Super Bowl, and there are prop bets galore. And I checked out youcanbetthat.com. How are things going over there? And what's new at YouCanBet?
It's good. It's going good. I mean, a lot of the crazy stuffs, I think, is the ones that people are like clicking on. Like the AVN award odds that I did for the porn awards, probably one of the highest ones of highest clicks I got. So, I mean, because no disrespect to the people who are either following it or are clicking on it or anything there, but people just don't realize that you can actually bet on stuff like that. Like, oh yeah, I have Super Bowl advertisement betting odds on there now, like the commercials. I posted that and stuff like that. But it's like the Tournament of Champions, the Food Network. Right now, that's the #1 click hit that I've ever done on the site. As soon as I put that out there and I tagged Guy Fieri and his son Hunter, who I've been texting back and forth about it and stuff like that, Food Network won't let them talk about that. Hey, there's odds out for this. I was trying to see if maybe they can squeeze like, oh, so and so's the favorites or stuff like that. So I was trying to, but that's probably been my so far best thing that's on there. So it's fun. I like doing it, and I want to tell people that some of these odds I have not done. I just find them, and I just want people to know that, hey, you could actually bet this one and stuff like that. This is a place you can go and stuff like that. But I enjoy it just because my big things now, trying to make someone laugh a day. I mean, some of these are not like honey, can I have a raise on my allowance? I want to bet Food Network stuff like that. If I can make someone laugh just one day, maybe he's having a bad day, or you who's watching TV in the stands and a little phone because his son's got a triple header and then he has got to go to another game afterwards and all that. If you go home and you see what I just posted, because you're on my email list, if I made you laugh like at 11 o'clock at night before you go to bed, my job has been satisfied.
You have quite a few times, so keep it up, man. Great job over there. I love some of the crazy stuff you have. Why don't you? There's some food stuff you say. What are some of the more exotic props you have going on
for the Super Bowl, or just in general?
Let's go general first, and then Super Bowl.
I'm working on more movie prop bets. There's some good movie ones. Dune 2 comes out, so I'm going to be doing some stuff for Dune 2.
I like that first movie, and I'm glad you brought that up. My wife and I had no idea that movie was coming out, so we saw the preview. It was like, okay, that might be one that will bring us to the movie theater once every 2 years.
Yeah, so I'm working on that, some Beetlejuice 2 stuff like that. I'm probably going to do more Food Network odds, I think, because like I said, I got really good responses and stuff like that. And then of course it's award season. I'm probably gonna put up some Oscar prop bets, and we have Oscar odds out, but I'll probably do how many will Oppenheimer win and stuff like that. So we'll put up some more Oscar odds. I like that, but you know me, I'm always on social media. If something bad happens or stuff like that, I'm gonna try to be the first one to post something weird. But again, it's political season, so after the Super Bowl, I'm going to be poking my eyes out to see Dumb and Dumber go head-to-head, and I got to do Senate races and governor races and stuff like that. There's a lot of Georgia legalized sports game that could be on a ballot, so I'll probably do some stuff on that as well. Some other states are trying to legalize marijuana, but we're to do stuff on that if that passes and stuff. So political season is one of my busier seasons. So I'll be diving into that once Super Bowl's over.
Busy. And pivoting to the Super Bowl, yeah, I'm guessing that one star might be keeping you a little bit busy right now from what you said earlier.
Yeah, I mean, everyone asked me during the AFC NFC Championship, who do I like? Who do I like? And I did like the Baltimore Ravens, not because who they were playing, but I was the biggest Baltimore Raven fan last week, just because I did not want Kansas City in the Super Bowl, because I knew that I would have to do so much research on Taylor Swift's airline from her show from Tokyo or Japan, and at what time is she going to get. And I had done odds on what the temperature of the airport's going to be and stuff like that. So, wow. Yeah, it's I don't dislike Taylor Swift. Everyone thinks, why the Swifties are going to come back. I like Taylor Swift. I'm glad these two are still together. I think it is an actual relationship, because if this was just a plug and stuff like that, they would have broke up week 6, week 7, or something like that. They've been going out for the whole football season, so I believe this is not a publicity stunt or stuff like that. They are dating or whatever, but I just did not want to do research on what color lipstick would she wear on Super Bowl Sunday. What jersey is she gonna?
You don't have to. My wife knows all that already. So, like I said, you could have just called her and she would have gave you all the information that you needed. She tries to be a kid again sometimes with these young pop artists, but either way, she said she always wears red. So
Yeah, Wed's 1,000. I gave some will Taylor Swift show cleavage? Yes or no on that one. Will Taylor Swift and Brittany Mahomes wear matching tops? Will Taylor Swift and Jackson Mahomes, the second to worst guy I hate in Kansas City, just because I think he's an idiot, Patrick's brother. Will her and Taylor Swift do a TikTok video before the game, at halftime of the game, and after the game? So it's 3 separate prop bets on that one. So it's but I want to, no disrespect to FanDuel Canada or FanDuel, but sometimes you should leave prop bets to, I don't want to say the professionals, and I'm not close to a professional. I'm not saying I'm a professional.
I think you are.
But they put out a prop bet a couple of days ago. Will Travis Kelce propose to Taylor Swift?
Yes, I saw it.
After the game. They opened it up at minus 225. That should have been minus 1,000, minus 2,000, minus 3,000. I think what I heard, they were only taking
to the no minus 225.
Yeah, they had a no minus 225. And last time I checked, it was minus 4,000. I mean, that should have been the opening number. Because first of all, Kansas City has to win the game. Second of all, I'm sorry, this is Taylor. Taylor Swift is not going to get engaged after a football game.
It's so cheesy.
That number was so wrong, and I couldn't find any of my Canadian friends. First of all, I found out FanDuel Canada was you can only bet on Ontario, so all my friends don't live in Ontario, so they were telling me that. I'm like, so I couldn't find anybody to get me down on that action.
Yeah, they moved pretty quick, and I didn't see it either on my FanDuel. I got a lot of other ones though.
It's FanDuel Canada. It's only in FanDuel Canada, not FanDuel USA. FanDuel Canada.
I will say FanDuel's limits are a lot higher than a lot of stuff out there, but that could be to their detriment too. I don't see any set list stuff out there, but we'll see if that pops in later today. But let's go back to a lot of these props. Where could our listeners and viewers see those props?
Some of them are over at MyBookie right now. And the industry. If one book puts out one, the other one puts out that and maybe add one. I can say that right now. I mean, I saw some Bet Online ones that I took, and then I added two more kind of in, I had two more with that Randra, stuff like that. If they had one for CMC, okay, then I had one for the two running back for Pacheco and stuff like that. So you kind of want to see what other books and all that, and maybe add 2 or 3 of your own, kind of the same bases and stuff like that. And I'm sure other books do the same thing. Okay. While Raphael over at MyBookie put this cross sports prop bets. Let's take it, and then let's do 2 other ones in that one. Because people forget that there's a boxing there. Teofimo Lopez is fighting Thursday in Las Vegas on that. So I put up a prop bet, was talking to a buddy over mine at Teasers. He's like, oh, wow, I like that one. I saw he put it up, and then he put 3 other boxing prop bets up there. I don't know if Teasers has all their cross sports up yet, but we were going back and forth yesterday. So not that many people know about that. And I did not put my UFC crossover bets probably right after this weekend's prop bets, even though I don't like to put them too early because sometimes, you get whacked early and then you're trying to chase money early. So I'll probably put those up maybe Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. So, me, cross sports, I love the cross sports bets and stuff like that. But I think this year with so many big names, it's probably going to be some books are probably have the biggest probably prop number on it just because it's so. You got Taylor Swift, you have halftime of Usher, who's done it before. You have CMC, Brock Purdy, their health stack. You have Kelsey, Patrick Mahomes, Kansas City being there. You get so many names and so many different options to make prop bets. I think some books are going to have probably the biggest number of props out.
It's kind of hard to find them too. I mean, sometimes they move them all over the place. The books have them listed at different places. Some are specialty props. Some are called novelty props, and they're different places in every book, right?
Well, you have to now. I'll explain this because I've been telling people this. Okay, now that everyone's pretty much all their places you can go online, you don't have to go to sports books anymore. Like if you click the game, you can see there'll be a number right here, 240 prop bets. You click it, and now have all the receiving yards, total touchdowns. So those are kind of novelty props or game props or player props. Then they'll add more, especially now here for the Super Bowl, that we call it special props or whatever they want on there. Because those ones that you got in the game, every game, like NBA, NHL, and all those are all computer generated that pretty much a formula puts in. It spits out the names and stuff like that. And all you do is just putting the numbers in. And now if you wanted to add, will CMC have 2 fumbles in the game? Now you have to actually physically go in the system, type it all out, put the numbers in, put the max limits, put the minutes limits in, stuff like compared to all the player prop bets that you can do in the NBA, NFL Week 3 and stuff like that. You can set the limits in months in advance.
Wow, months. There you go. That's some of those stuff. Yeah, is computer generated. You're right. So if I was looking for halftime props, would I click on MyBookie? Would I click on specialty props? What would I click on?
I think those will come up as halftime bets.
Okay, Super Bowl coin toss. Okay, yep. MyBookie has a little. They actually have national anthem props. Taylor Swift props has their own category, and MVP props.
Now I can tell you that they're behind from the people who are back there putting it in the system, because I sent in some cross sports today, and the text message I get was the laughing face emoji, and we are working as hard as we can. That's what the the text was going. So I don't know how many people they have there working. I tried to like send them text message of jokes. Hey, have a good day. Thank you for all the work you do and all that. Because I know I've been there. When I first got in this job, Caesars Palace, I was a sports admin. My job was to put in everything in a computer. And it's you have to proofread it, spell check it, make sure the number's correct, have someone else look at it, make sure the money lines are. It's a long, tedious job. So when people are like, how come all your prop bets on them? I'm like, because we only have 5 guys that's typing on there, and someone next to them has to proofread what he just did to make sure everything is correct. It's not like it's a very, very tedious job.
It is a tedious job, and we respect you for it because we love it, and it's great to just have more and more things to bet on now that betting has been legalized in most of these states. So great job over there. But unfortunately, I'm going to have to make you work a little bit harder.
Thanks.
Because I have some props for you that you need to.
That's why I got my pen and paper and I'm writing them down.
All right. Number 1, I have Jason Kelce taking his shirt off during the game like he did with the Bills. Now I searched for this one. I didn't see it. So
there is one out.
Oh, I had this idea 2 days ago and I wrote it down for this, but maybe somebody else had the idea too. But having his actual shirt off, what is it, like minus 400 to the no, minus 600 to the no, something crazy?
Jason Kelce to be shirtless during the game. The no opened up at minus 165. It's already up to minus 350.
Okay, because I would definitely go no, being that's the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I agree.
He also lost the Super Bowl, so I'm sure he's like, maybe he should be a little bit timid there. Come on, you can't be just ripping your shirt off, dude. We'll see. We'll see how many beers he pounds. So if he pounds enough beers, anything can happen. So
anything can happen, and it's indoor, so It's not like it's cold.
So I was going to ask you to add, will Tony Romo say anything utterly incompetent during the broadcast? But the yes on that is minus like 20,000.
Yeah.
So that's not going to work. I don't think
we got burned on Tony Romo prop bets this first Super Bowl he did. We had to pay a lot of tie colors because it looked like one color on someone's TV and someone's. So yeah, we kind of faded away on some of Tony Romo prop bets just because we got a little bit burnt on them. Now, like we have like. How many times will Roger Goodell be shown as a broadcast? We put that under broadcast, stuff like that. But no Tony. I'm going to write that down there. Tony Romo props. I might do a couple.
Okay, well, why don't you do this one? Tony Romo. Will Tony Romo or Jim Nantz bring up the Cowboys during the broadcast, being that Tony played for the Cowboys? So that's one that I thought might be worth throwing out there because I think that one could be not completely to the no. I think there's a shot that during your days at the Dallas Cowboys, Dallas is supposedly America's team. Well, that's what they've always said. But I think there's a chance the Cowboys get brought up. I'll try to think of some more Romo ones. But how about this? The over-under on number of sports books being televised, going into a commercial and stuff like that, or coming back into the game, they'll show everybody cheering at a sports book. I would set the over under on 1.5 if I was going to set that, and probably pretty close.
Sports books commercials?
No, actual sport. Like it's Vegas, so you gotta think that CBS is going to have to eat that up a little bit and show sports books.
Oh, live sportsbook feeds.
Live sportsbook feed. 15,
I would probably go to under because it's so hard to get approval to get a picture inside of a sportsbook during a live event.
Maybe so, but I mean that's
the only reason why Circa can get away with that because they actually show the outside, which if they put a drone and all that, that's not casino space. Like if they show the pool, and the pictures and all that.
Okay,
you can actually get away with that because that's not inside.
Would that count as a sports book though too?
Yeah, that's. I'll look into that one.
Okay, yeah, I thought that might be interesting because I would figure that they'd be really missing out by not showing Vegas life about sports during the biggest sporting event in the year. So that's an interesting one. How about this? Will there be shots of Fremont Street area in Vegas? I would say yes.
I put that. How many shots? That was like someone that put that in one of our inbox. How many times would they show Fremont Street?
Okay, well, look at that. You got all kinds of people helping out in these prots. That's cool. All right, so here's the final one I have. Will the annoying and overused phrase "what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas" be used during the game?
That's a good one. Well, that's a good one. Will Tony Romo say "what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas"?
Okay, he would say that because he is kind of that that unpredictable and haphazard. Let's call him. Yeah, he's.
I like that one. That's stuff. Ooh, that would be a hard one. What do you think? I could see him saying that so that you can't really make a bad number because I could see. I mean, the no would be the favorite, but you can't really make it that high of a favorite because if you he's
probably like this right now on pen and paper. Ooh, I got a good one for the broadcast.
Yeah, the TV people have never heard this phrase before.
Thinking he's all smart right now.
I'd probably have to make it like the no at minus 250 and stuff like that because I don't want to get burned on the yes because I can actually see him saying it and laughing at it, saying it because he probably thinks no one else has ever heard it before.
I know, dude. Oh God,
I like that one.
Yeah. All right. Good. Hey, you can if you name it after us, you get a bonus. Don't you? I'll send it in the mail. You get a bonus check.
All right.
But make sure.
Checks in the mail.
Yeah, and like I was going to ask you about that crazy proposal prop. Holy cow, how insane is that one? I hope they get burned on that a little bit. Let's get into the game then. Obviously, coin toss. We've talked about that a million times. Books should be offering that minus 100, plus 100, even money, whatever. Any thoughts on the kickoffs? It's funny. This kickoff return I saw at one book, and it might have been FanDuel was giving 100 to 1 on the kickoff return. But you look at these kickers; they're kicking through the end zone, aren't they?
Yeah. It's maybe back in 5 years ago that's something a lot of people would look at. But now, I mean, with the new rules, and they don't want people running back punts and kickoffs and stuff like that. I had highly now punt return. Yes, I remember when Devin Hester ran a punt return. I was working at Aria. Man, we cashed that ticket like there was no tomorrow. We got crushed on that prop bet. I remember I was working at Aria, and I remember the Super Bowl party downstairs kept on running out of cash. So I'd have to
first right away. That must have just had people freaking partying after that.
Yeah. I just got a cold sweat just thinking about it.
Oh, I wish I was there, dude. I mean, I remember where I was watching it because as a big Bears fan, but that was something else. And of course, then Rex Grossman happened after that, and then Peyton Manning. So, what about okay? So these Taylor Swift props, there's a ton of them, right?
Yes.
Why don't you? So here's what I did. Being that the limits are low, I let my wife kind of have at it. She went to a bunch and bet what we could or what we were allowed to anyway. And I just let her have some fun with it. And I think that's what it's all about, is getting the wife involved and getting them more involved in the game. So it's kind of cool that you did do that. Now it's not like it's just me about sports during the Super Bowl because we had kids running around playing sports probably during the Super Bowl. But yeah, she'll be a little bit more invested in the game, and I think that's cool. I think she bet the person she's next to. So I have to pull up those odds because, to be honest with you, I don't even know her name. I think it's okay. She bet Mahomes' wife, one of them at plus 300. And I'll have to find the odds for the other ones, but she bet that. And her first song, it wasn't the popular ones. It was. I'll get back to you on that. What are people mostly betting for the Taylor Swift props? Is what I'm trying to ask you.
We put up some new ones on other sites that I did. I'm still waiting for my book to put on it. We put some Grammy ones up because the Grammys are Sunday. February 4th. So we put up, will she wear a red dress for the Grammys to represent the Kansas City Chiefs for the Super Bowl and stuff like that. We put who should be seen. Will CBS show her travel plan from Japan to the Super Bowl? So that's how people, a lot of betting that yes opened, or the no opened up at -$4, is already up to -$7. I saw and someone that's copied it on that as well. So you said it. Swift's first person show next to Donna Kelsey is +250 now. Brittany Mahomes 3-1, Jason Kelsey 4-1, which he should be like 6-1. There's no way he's sitting next to Britney Spears. He'll be sitting next to his wife and probably his mom. I don't think he's going to be sitting.
Right. She actually bet on Cara Delevingne. Is that how you say it?
Yeah, Cara Delevingne.
Who is that?
She's an actress.
Okay. They must be buddies, I'm guessing.
Yeah, they're good friends. It's going to be someone. I would not be shocked if it's either Scott Swift or Brittany Mahomes. I would be. You would figure the network would probably tell, hey, can you guys be close together and stuff. You figure someone's going to tell them to, like, hey, we're going to be showing you a lot on TV and stuff. She's going to blow out, because remember, we would have every Giselle. How many times would a TV show Giselle? And one year they showed her 0 times. I think when Tom Brady won in Tampa, they didn't show her 0 times. That way, I guess we should have known that the marriage was on the rocks then on that one. So this is totally different. So I think we put on the MyBookie, how many times would they have show Taylor Swift? And I did this as a joke, and they actually posted it and did a graphic. They put -10,000 too many times. So they did it just because I didn't want to do it, because I would not be shocked if it's over 10 times. If Kelsey scores 2 touchdowns, let's figure 2 times. If he does something good, if Kansas City's blowing him out, or I'm sure they're going to show her dancing to Usher at halftime or something like that. I have a feeling they're probably going to show her more than 8 times, or even probably maybe double digits.
No, dude, for sure. I have no idea what to think about how much money the NFL is making off this. And it's been a distraction to a sports bettor, I think. and that's why she gets all the crap. It's like, we're having all these funny pictures like her on the Madden cover and stuff, and I chuckle at it. It's not about Brittany, or it's not about Taylor. It's just about the media making it way too much. That's what I think. And the truth is that I care less about the relationship. Really, I don't know her as a person. My wife likes her music, so I'm happy for that. I'm sure she's a good person. I think so anyway. But I think people are wrong when they say quit, like, don't go in so extreme. He says people are just poking fun at the whole thing. The truth is, if I'm her, I'm embarrassed by it, because I feel an obligation almost, because the NFL's using me now, and I kind of have to be there. Yet I'm getting made fun of because of that. I wonder if she's getting something on the back end here or something. Makes you wonder.
I don't think she's getting anything in the back. She doesn't need any money on the back end. She makes more money than Patrick Mahomes does.
Yeah, that's if I'm her, I'm like, dude, kid, I would almost like be hidden during the game, and just don't tell them where I'm at. Of course, everyone will search her out, but I almost feel bad for her on that aspect of it, to be honest with you. So my wife bet, look what you made me do. And that's +475. I don't know that song, but I have to think that at least she took one that's not the favorite. I guess Anti-Hero is the favorite, and then Shake It Off, which I think is the older one. I don't know why they would have that one second. I figure the newer ones would go first. But there you go. We'll see if she cashes on that, and we can have a great day from the wife's standpoint, my man.
I do like what the prop bet. I do like the prop bet Travis Kelce receptions to Taylor Swift's live shots.
Okay, receptions to live shots. Yeah. That's very creative, but I have no idea how to predict that. I feel like that's the variance of Carolina playing the Colts. I don't even. It's like sometimes those games are just an NBA game where 5 guys are questionable. It's like I just feel like I have no way of even.
We're trying to pick a St. Mary's Gales total at home. Some days they go over. Some days they hold the opponent to 30 points.
Oh my God, that's pretty good one. That's the Gales are very efficient yet play slow, kind of like Wisconsin. Wisconsin's the same way, very efficient. So they're hitting everything, but they're just playing slow. Very strange. Good stuff. Well, let's move on to the next segment here. which is a little bit more about coin toss national anthem. That's what we're on, national anthem. What is it, 86 seconds for Reba? Now, I heard that people were digging back and found her from 1974 when she was a kid singing the song. And she was like,
it opened up at 84 and a half and got bet up to 86 and a half. So, I mean, we have of course, the primary color of hat, primary color of boots, and stuff like that. But I will jump ahead. At least us over at MyBookie, I am not putting up the halftime prop bets until at least we have them ready to go. I'm not putting them up until Wednesday, Thursday, because last year's halftime show got leaked, got crushed on. I shouldn't say crushed. We lost badly on it. You don't want to lose too bad on prop bets, but it was an ugly red after that. So
the Rihanna one or the one before?
The Rihanna one. Both of them. We've lost back to back.
Yeah, the one before I had that info too. So I was.
So I am waiting till either Thursday and Friday to put it out. I don't care if customers are mad, because I don't want to explain myself that, hey, I didn't leak it out, or I was doing something else when I found out and stuff like that. I couldn't, because I'm not there. I'm not in the establishments behind the counter. If I was there, I could shut it off or readjust.
Just send Usher a text and ask him.
Yeah, I don't know Raymond that well, but but yeah. So people who are listening over at MyBookie, we will not be putting our halftime show odds until Thursday, Friday, because I don't want the boss.
Okay, here's the weird thing. Here's the weird thing about Usher, and I actually put the max I could on two of the things. It's if Ludacris is going to be there, and if Little John's going to be there. Well, I can arguably say, yeah, his best song. And both Little John and Ludacris are in it. And what the hell else do these guys have to do? Little John's in Vegas all the time anyway. How is he not going to be there? I mean, and you got plus 200 and plus 300. I could hit both or hit one of them and make a profit. So I'm okay with that. Now, obviously, the limits aren't big, but that's what I did. I just bet them both.
The only thing that scares me so far, all the ones I really thought they were going to bring out, someone didn't. Justin Timberlake didn't.
Every one of Usher's songs has somebody.
I know, but Rihanna had a lot of collaborators. Justin Timberlake, everyone was betting Jay-Z was going to show up, or someone from NSYNC was going to show up, and they went solo. So, I mean, I understand now Rihanna not being solo because she was pregnant and she was. Yeah. I understand that one, but it would not shock me if Usher just does the whole show by himself. Bruno Mars, same thing. He didn't have anybody with them. I think the only time they had one was...
Well, Bruno Mars doesn't have a lot of collaboration. A lot of stuff is pretty solid. Yeah.
I know, but if you're a Super Bowl, you would kind of want a big pop and stuff like that.
Okay, so here's also the reason why I don't like Yeah for the first song is because I feel like the first song Usher does has to be without somebody. It's like, this is about you at the Super Bowl. Now you bring your homies in later, right? Yeah. But the first one, most of these songs have somebody. So Will I Am's in like the Oh My God one, I guess. And I tried to do this research this morning. I used to listen to some Usher. It's kind of, I forgot a lot of stuff, but I guess I was just trying to think of like the songs that nobody else is in. I think My Way might be one. There's just a lot of them that has collaboration. So I just don't want to bet. Yeah. Ooh, My Way moved up to plus 105.
Yep. Plus 105 now.
Oh, Jesus. So that happened today. Okay. Because that was way down there. I guess I should have bet it. Maybe
I like will Usher give a shout out to Taylor Swift.
No, he won't. No, I will definitely say no on that one. He's probably one of those people that might be a little sick of it too, I would think. But I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. Color of his chain, color of his shirts and shoes. Just like
I thought sunglasses minus three to 1 or minus $3. I still think, even though it's minus $3, I think it's that's a good number. That's a bad number. I think it should be like 5 to minus 5 to minus 6. I don't think he's gonna come off sunglasses.
Oh, is he?
I don't see him. Most of the stuff that in concert wise, he always had shades on.
So he will come out in sunglasses.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, for sure. He will come out in sunglasses. I would not want to bet against that one. And they're not letting me bet My Way. I'm gonna have to call him. We'll have to call him.
Sharp. They're probably watching the show.
I hit Ray's risk max limit. Oh, whatever. Forget it. We'll have to move on. They don't want me to bet it. Let's talk about the game, and we can talk about some bets. I know it's freaking boring. Well, you know what's funny about the handicap in this game? It's power versus like I guess experience, right? Power versus experience, and how creative is your handicap? Because you got the creative side with Mahomes being stud, best quarterback we've seen since Brady, and really great coach and Andy Reid, amazing Spagnuolo, defense coordinator. You got all these boxes that you can check, but then you say yards per play. It's like Niners 0.8 advantage net yards per play. They have a massive advantage running the ball, and but the Niners look suspect the last couple games against good teams. It's just such an interesting handicap. Yeah, I have the Niners by 2.5 points personally. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I like the 49ers. I don't like the way they've been starting off so slow. I mean, that kind of worries me. I mean, granted, they've come back and won those games, but it scares me a bit that how well they slow. But if you like San Francisco, I've been telling people, if you like San Francisco, then why don't you take the over at 47.5? If you like KC, you figure KC cannot have Kansas City score 24 or more points against them. If you like KC, you have to. It's probably going to be an under game. Keep 49ers less than 24.
Well, that's the whole thing. That's the whole thing. You got a close to a pick'em game, and it's like it's hard to bet these props over under if they can go each way, right? It's real interesting. KC 19-1 unders in the fourth quarter, right? I used to always bet first half under, second half over, and it's been killing for the last 5 years. But this is the one I'm scared of. I still bet the first half under. But I am not sure if I'm betting the second half over this year.
I do like the first half under. I think both teams, I think 49ers are going to try to establish CMC really early, run the ball really early. I think Pacheco, same way on the other side. You figure if you're Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, run the ball, try to keep that high-power offense of the 49ers off the field. I don't think we're going to see big plays being established right away. I don't think Kelsey's going to be shot out of the cannon in the first half like we saw against Baltimore, which everyone thinks that, Kansas City beat Baltimore. I know Kansas City, but people are talking about that game like Kansas City won 34-10. If Flowers doesn't drop that ball at the goal line, we may be having a different conversation.
And then Lamar thrown into triple coverage.
Yeah, we might have a totally – so, yeah, hats off. The best team won that game. Kansas City was the best team that day. No, I'm not saying that they were not. They got lucky or whatever. But the way they're talking about how Kansas City won on the road with Patrick Mahomes, stuff like that, they're making it sound like it was a 34-10 game, which they didn't score in the second half.
They had an easy schedule, man, because the Miami was banged up massively on defense. Miami, same with Buffalo, just linebackers galore was gone, and that's just such a key position. Especially Pacheco had a field day against them. Now the Niners have a little bit more issues against the run with Farrell out, but Chase Young, I'd say the coach better get on him and learn him how to stop the run a little bit. But you still got Fred Warner there. And, it's just I'm not buying. They don't use Pacheco on the ends as much. They throw him up the middle, and that's not where you want to go towards Hargrave. So it's just like
I do lean towards 49. I think they're the better team on offense. Yeah. I think the MVP of the league is probably going to be the reason why they win that one. It's not a quarterback. CMC is the MVP. What he did last week in the playoffs and when he's done, I'm sorry, a quarterback should not win the MVP this year. It should be CMC.
I hope it's CMC. I actually
it's Lamar Jackson. We all know that.
I bet. Thank God I have CMC.
Oh, no, I'm talking about the MVP of the season.
Yeah,
not the MVP
I know.
Of the Super Bowl.
I have him offensive player of the year, but it should.
Oh, he's going to win offensive player of the year. I think.
Yeah, I got 15-1 on that at least, but I did hedge it a little bit and put 12-1 on him for MVP just in case. But I'm pretty confident he's going to get offensive player of the year. And yeah, Lamar. The problem is they vote on it before the playoffs, and the truth is like you should not vote Lamar in until he wins. He goes far in the playoffs, no matter what this regular season is. To be honest, he's only 15th in passing yards. He's not exactly the highest in this quarterback position. It's a position. He's won some games, but it's the Ravens defense and their system. I think that's it a lot now. It's funny. Everyone's saying they should have ran the ball more last game, but at the same time, don't you remember Kansas City putting 8 guys in the box? It's like it was Lamar's game to throw out of that. He couldn't. It was like the reason they didn't run in the second half is because the pass should have been a lot more open. And I believe that they should have started running in the beginning, but they couldn't run in the second half. They were down.
Yeah. I thought the offensive coordinator, some of his plays that he was running in the first half, and especially in the second half, I thought was some bad play calling. But like I said, I think throwing in triple coverage, fumbles, and penalties. They were brutalized. This dumb penalties. How do you make those penalties at home? At home.
Yeah, you had the wrong ref for away penalties on that one too. So that was brutal on the Ravens. Well, let's move on to first score. You know which one I bet every year. I don't know if you remember. First score field goal, baby.
Yeah.
I mean, I got plus 375 Chiefs, plus 385 Niners, blended odds, plus 190. I mean, it's right there for you. So basically, you bet first score field goal at plus 190 all day. I mean, the reasons I always say, it's like the Super Bowl. They don't want to throw a pick in the end zone. They're a little timid there. Defenses tend to tighten up in the red zone a little bit. It's Super Bowl. Yeah, it's first.
Would you have played that prop if the Lions were in the Super Bowl? Put you on the spot.
If I had to talk to I give a big talking to Dan Campbell before that would scare me. It would have to be a hell of a lot bigger because this man just does not like kickers, and he made some questionable call. To be honest with you, I actually agree with going for it with down 14 when you had 2 yards to go, but I didn't agree with him doing it later because I think doing it later is when you could have tied the game and just get a little bit of momentum back to you, after all those blow-ups. So that was they both of them. It was just egregious. They couldn't kick one. It's like, dude, you got to kick one of those anyway. All right, let's go to MVP. I took Deebo Samuel early just because his number was 3,800. I think this could be a wild card type situation with him. He runs the ball, and plus 3,800 at FanDuel. I just put it like a little half unit on there, but I think he can get MVP of this game. And here's the thing. I got a couple of smaller ones on the Purdy's and the Kittles and CMC and Pacheco. I'm probably going to lose them all because Mahomes will get it if they win. But it's like one of those things. If I'm really going for the 3,800 for Deebo,
Mm-hmm. I'm going to go way opposite with you because everyone's talking about one tight end. I'm going to go with the other tight end that had a bad game last week against the Lions. Only had 2 receptions. I think 27 yards or something. Give me Kittle. I'll take George Kittle. Yeah, why not? I mean, let's say if he scores 2 touchdowns or has a big game and they win, they would probably give it to him just to say, a tight end won and it wasn't Travis Kelce. I couldn't pass up that number, but I like Deebo, and I had to pick CMC as well, and I picked I picked Pacheco just in case if he has a big game, if he catches a screen pass and scores or rushing and Kansas City wins. But let's say Lamar has a mediocre game.
Yeah.
I can see maybe that, but that's the one I picked Pacheco. But I like the Kittle. I think that's the giving it to the Swifties right back at you. Your tight end didn't win it. This one guy,
even though the Chiefs are third best at stopping tight ends, this number is whack because Kittle is sometimes a massive part of this offense. And the dude is a beast. Like right now, I'd pick Kittle or Kelce. Right now, not all time, but right now I would for this year. No, liking it. What about quarterback props? Have you bet any quarterback props?
I did one prop bet just because this guy almost outrushed Lamar Jackson last weekend.
I'm with you.
Give me Brock Purdy over 11.5.
I have the same one, buddy.
Yeah, give me. I mean, he could be just like last week. Could you figure KC's going to want to rush him, put some pressure on him, see how he does with the Super Bowl pressure? I can see him running like he did last week.
What's the best way to not throw an interception? Run the ball, man. I mean, that's what these quarterbacks have been doing. Now it's time KC gets a little bit of a taste of it. Now, I think they're not going to be able to play as tight defense against the Niners because Purdy is more accurate than Lamar. And I think that's just going to be a suicide for them. And then it'll just open it up more for when they start guarding the receivers a little bit more in the slot and Debo and certain types of those use check even. I think that he's going to easily get 11.5 yards. So I am completely on board with that. Running back wise, I actually took CMC over 90.5 rushing yards. I expect these numbers to go up too, by the way.
I agree. I think his will probably end up like around 92, 93.
Yeah. And so I could always buy back half. Some books might be even over extravagant on him and really jack him up. There's people just betting overs on him. Go to Reno once and find that one, right? I would say any of these overs I took, I can always buy back. So I just want to say I bought them for certain situations, but I took him on the running. I almost took Pacheco, but I just kind of thought it's almost too predictable in this case. And if the Niners do have the lead, it's not going to be as much running Pacheco, but I like Pacheco over his receiving yards, my friend, because 17.5 receiving yards. Here's the thing. The Niners give up one of the most receiving yards to running backs. They just let them have the ball and they take them down, but he's going to be open once some of the others are covered. And I like him over 17.5 a lot for one star. That was one of my favorite ones.
Yeah, that was one of the ones that I looked at. I'm on the upper side with you. I do kind of like. I haven't played it, but over 68.5 is rushing yards. I did kind of look at that because, like I said, right now, I mean, I'm leaning towards the 49ers. But if Kansas City wins, I have a feeling Pacheco's probably going to have a type of game like he did last week on the ground, start off red hot. So, kind of, I don't want to say hedge my 49er bet. If I do, I don't have a ticket on them yet. But that's something I'm going to look at all next week is his rushing yards.
All right, good stuff. How about anytime touchdowns? Now, these are the gambling ones more. They're not yes, no's. Anything you like for anytime touchdowns? I only bet one so far.
I don't usually bet that many of those, so I didn't really look at anytime touchdowns. I mean, because if I did, I mean, of course, CMC is probably a horrible number. The ones that I do like, I would probably look at Kittle. Like I said, try to fade the other tight end on that one. That would be one of the ones.
Kelce has not been scoring a lot of touchdowns.
Might be lucky he would score a touchdown on the time that I bet him.
I need Kelce because I'm in this fantasy thing, and I have Kelce, and Gibbs was so good last week that a couple people went ahead of me. But if Kelce does better than Pacheco by a lot, then I'll be into first place probably. So I'm hoping for Kelce. But at the same time, I also look at the box score of last Super Bowl. I found it really interesting that guys like Tyreek Hill and Sammy Watkins had massive days. 98 yards for Sammy Watkins, 105 for Tyreek Hill. And you have Kelce with 6 receptions, yet only 43 yards. I feel like the Niners kind of try to take him out of the game. Of course, you had 2 other studs at receiver, but now that Kansas City doesn't have great receivers, I found it pretty interesting here. Why don't we talk about some receiving props then? So I did take a few overs, and I will buy back possibly, but these numbers kind of came out with like people wondering if Tony's playing. Tony ain't going to play. He burned his bridge. And who's been getting more targets since Tony went out? It's Valdez-Scantling. Mm-hmm. He's been getting more. I got lucky last week on his over. I mean,
yeah,
I was like, never a doubt, baby. But the last play of the game. But I mean, his numbers 18.5, something like that. He's a deep ball guy. He misses most of the stuff that he gets thrown to. But without Tony being there, who else you throwing to besides Rashee Rice and Kelce? It's going to be Pacheco, and he's going to get a couple targets. I mean, Watson a little bit too, but he's going to get a couple targets. I would bet the under if it went up high enough too.
I like the under on Rice though. I think it was 67.5 or something like that. I think last time I saw around there. I like his under. He does he'll get a couple targets, but I think it's going to be Pacheco the ball, Kelce the ball, Valdez. I think he's going to get a little more. I kind of like him over a little bit, Valdez, because like you said, I think he's going to take what Tony was getting at some point. I took Jennings under too, the right receiver from the 49ers. I took him under because I figured Debo.
You wanted to hit that right away, huh? I'm going to wait on that to see if it goes up. It might not, though. Maybe
I don't think it does.
Yeah.
I don't think it does because I just think it's going to be the names. No disrespect to Jennings. He's not a name on that 49ers. He's not Kittle or CMC, Debo, Anuk. He's not those. So I can see him going under.
Okay, so I also like a tackler prop. I have Fred Warner tackles plus assist over 7.5. I laid minus 145. I just see a lot of Pacheco in the beginning of this game. You got a smart Andy Reid right there that knows that the Niners, especially on Chase Young's side, has been leaking a little bit. Pacheco's been a massive part of this team. And it's not just Pacheco. They're going to run some Allaire, but Warner's also running around guarding, covering receivers. He's getting a lot of tackles plus assists every single game. I like this. It was at 8 it was at 8.5 for plus 105, and then I waited and it dropped to 7.5 minus 145. I'm like, okay, I'll take that one.
I like that one. It's a nice one. I don't look at many defensive. I look at more kicking prop bets than defense prop bets.
I think Chiefs score first. And that's why I also like Butker a lot for that first field goal. But I think the Chiefs score first. And it's because Andy Reid is always great at that first drive. And Shanahan loves getting the ball if he loses. I mean, everyone's going to defer, I think. But I just see Brock Purdy getting the little bit of the nerves in the very beginning of the game. They'll have to punt. I just see it much more probable than the Niners scoring first, whether it's a touchdown or a field goal. I'm hoping it's a field goal, but I also bet Chiefs just to score first at minus 106. Got that in FanDuel. So I like that one. And if you want to bet them to score first and lose, plus 340 you can do.
Not that bad one.
No, not bad. I just kind of tightened into that one. What else you got?
That's for prop bets. I mean, that's pretty much all I have. Like I said, I'll dive in because I'm with you. Some I'm looking to see if the numbers move because again, we still have another week to go on this one. So I jumped in on some ones that I thought maybe the numbers would move. So maybe I can try to middle or hedge or like you said, get off that number. But it should be like I said, I think it's going to be very interesting just because I said there's a lot of big names in this game. Names that's been here before, names that looking for their first ones. Yeah, everyone knows CMC. Everyone knows everyone from Kansas City because they've been here for so many times. I'm really interesting to see how this game, betting-wise, I mean, right now it's been all 49er money. Most of the big wise guy action, most of the $1 million bets that's come in, it's been all 49ers. Does the KC money come in next week then? And then is that going to fluctuate the line? Are we going to see back to 1.5? Like we saw at the beginning of the week. So I'm very curious to see what the whole week of action is going to be like.
No, it's a very good point. Check it out. Make sure, just make sure that who's playing and who's not. That's for sure. I mean, there is a possibility Tony does play. After what he tweeted out, though, I would definitely not have him in uniform again, but that's not up to me. A couple other questionable guys. I know they said the neck injury was CMC, but I just don't see him not playing this game. It's a Super Bowl. The dude
is he questionable? I guess
I don't even think he's questionable, but there's just been some talk about it in the media. I think it's a little early to really even look here because it's just media week. But I'll see if I can pull him up here. And no, he's not listed on there. George Kittle's questionable though, because he's got that toe. He's not practicing on Thursday. I'm not worried about Kittle either. I think he's going to play, but for the most part, most people are healthy. A couple guys. I
always think it's funny because if I had a toe injury, I would say, "Hey, I have a high ankle." Or I would put toe if I was a player. I would just say, "Oh, my ankle hurts. Can you put that on the injury report?"
Yeah, toe is just a week.
It just seems weird.
I don't want people talking about my freaking toe all week, man.
Yeah,
embarrassing, dude. Totally. Sky Moore also limited too, still on IR, but you never know if he's going to pop in too. That could change a lot of stuff if Sky Moore comes in. So yeah, definitely pay attention to this injury report. It's very important. Finally, the Gatorade prop. I bet it. I bet it because, well, it's just fun. And I drink orange Gatorade, and you know that. And I've made many comments to you that it's the best tasting one, and anybody else has a different color is just doing it wrong. But I also noticed that purple Gatorade was used last year, and I think that was your favorite.
That's my favorite.
Your favorite. So somehow they disagreed with me and went with your taste buds. But I mean, how do you not bet that again, though? I mean, don't you think people superstitious enough to use the same color Gatorade that they did last time?
I think it's going to be red. Both teams wear red. Taylor Swift's lipstick's going to be red. Her jersey's going to be red. I mean, how can it not be red? I mean, it all signs to the Swifties it's red. So that's what I bet. And then the clear and other one opened up like at 20-1. Last time I checked, it was someplace at 10-1. So a lot of action coming in on clear. I don't think I've ever seen. I was trying to do a search of it. Has there ever been like a clear one ever dumped?
Okay, I've been wondering about that, but I think it's just accidentally grabbing the water one because people just don't want to drink sugary Gatorade. So I think that there's a water one, and they could screw up. So I'd be concerned for that. What if someone's diabetic and you just don't know, and they have to have a water Gatorade out there? So there you go. That's clear. Yeah. I think it probably did happen. I kind of remember something like that. But let me ask you this: has a kicker ever won MVP of the Super Bowl?
I don't think so. The league would fold if that happened. That'd be the last Super Bowl they played if they gave a kicker
18 to 10. Let's say KC wins 18-10, and it's all field goals.
Oh, they would probably still give it to Mahomes.
They would give it to maybe someone on the defense too. Like Steve.
I never thought about that. No touchdowns. It's 18-3. All it's field goals of the whole game.
Or 18-12, right?
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
Well, his number is 380-1. I mean, I threw $5 or $10 on Harrison Butker. I think I threw 10 on Butker and 5 on Moody. Butker is plus 38,000, so 380-1, and Moody is 37,370-1. Why not? I mean, all field goals, baby. What if one's like 60 yards? That's MVP for me.
God, that's crazy. I'm going to be thinking about just field goal score games for the rest of the night. Like no touchdown score, all field goals. That's nuts.
Just depress everybody, right? That would be it. The no touchdowns wins. Everybody should have bet 0 touchdowns for anytime touchdowns. That'd be good for the books, I think, in the general. I know they would probably take a bath on a few of these $5 to $10 bets, but not really. I think they would just crush it on the rest of the props if that happened. But who else has been crushing things? You, my man, making all these wonderful props for us. Really appreciate all the work and all the thought that you put into it, and you coming on this show all the time, Raph. Where could our listeners get your great information and plays?
You can find me on X at VSI.sports. You can find me on Instagram at Raphael Esparza. You can find my plays over at DocSports.com. You can find a lot of my crazy prop bets over at mybookie.ag. You can find my website, You Can Bet That, on youcanbetthat.com, which is, like I said, it's an entertaining site. I tell you where you can go find those odds and stuff like that. But it's just, like I said, something to make some people just a laugh one day. I mean, great wrestling stuff, odds on there, movie.
Wait till you see the political stuff, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So you'll be seeing a lot of political stuff right after the Super Bowl. I'll have some cool March Madness, I'm sure, props as well. But it's just an enjoying site because everyone takes, sports gamblers take everything so serious. They rip their TVs off if they don't win. They get cussed and stuff like that. Right. I try to bring some enjoyment into our industry.
You certainly do. And make sure you guys check that out and give them some prop ideas. Tweet them at VSI.sports. Ralph will be talking.
Take it easy.